Have to give him the left hand of fellowship.
One word says it all, Maranatha, the Lord will come. Oh, let me get my eyes out here. Well, as Pastor Heneyes once said while Pastor was gone, this is going to be a little bit of a wing it. I couldn't write my notes out, so it's going to be all from memory, but it'll be short, and I hope it'll be encouraging. A week ago today, at this exact time, 10:40, my best friend and coworker at work was getting ready to work. He unfortunately has a shift. He works on Sundays, and told his wife he didn't feel too good. He's 52 years old, was like a bodybuilder at one time. He came and sat down on his couch, and his wife came back 10 minutes later to check on him, and he had gone to be with the Lord already. And Billy came out of a heavy Catholic background, but he got saved, and we talked many nights about this. He listened to Charles Stanley. That was the first preacher he could find on the radio. And yesterday, I got to hear in what was 200 plus people sitting there, a clear testimony of, if you want to see Billy again, you got to know Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior. And a lot of people were very fidgety and nervous. And he had 5 children, ages 19 to 28. And I was able to give him the chick publication that Billy and I handed out called The Sissy, the truck driver. And they all took it and said they would read it. So I don't think any of his children are saved or his wife, but if you think about it, pray for him. And then it was 2 days later, I was fueling my truck at work, and I tripped on the concrete fuel island and fell down and landed and broke my hand. So I said, wow. I didn't say, can it get any worse than this? Because I learned that a long time ago. But I'm going to be looking out of 1 Corinthians 15, 51, and 52. Starting with verse 51, it says, "Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall be changed. In the moment, in the twinkling of an eye at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound." I told you this would be different. "And the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed." I'm going to intermix something I've never really said about is my testimony. I was saved at 15 years old, 1976, and saved maybe a month. And to go to church camp, we used to have an auction where the people could win the kids through auction and pay for their camp. And I was always one of the last ones to be auctioned, and everybody wanted to make Big Mouth Charlie work as hard as he could. But they had to feed me, so that was a drawback. And a man who was a World War II veteran who escaped, his whole unit almost got wiped out in Germany, and he escaped, and he always wondered why. And I believe God sent him to be a mentor to me and saved him at that time. And so my friend Reuben had a cabin, and we would go turkey hunting every year, and then we'd come back and work the other half of the day. So he was asking me how I got saved, and I said, I was back there, and of course I preface everything and go long-winded, and I was telling him everything, and he was sitting at a chair in the dining room of this cabin. And I remember saying, "So you understand all that, Reuben? Hey, Rube." I go walking out, and there was all his clothes laid over this chair, his shoes, his cup of coffee was still smoking, and I thought I missed the rapture. And that is one of the worst feelings you could ever have. I was going paranoid, screaming out, went out the door, and there he was digging a tree. He had changed clothes in the dining room and didn't tell me. And didn't even listen to what I was saying. So I went out there and he goes, Charlie, he said, I know in my heart that you know the Lord. If the rapture would have happened, you would have been going with me. And that made me feel better. But my whole point here was in the moment, in the twinkling of an eye. So I Googled, what is the twinkling of an eye? And it says it's about 100 milliseconds to twinkle an eye. And I always visioned when the rapture happens, I see it in slow motion, like, oh, look, all the people are raising out of the graves, and oh, that's nice, guess we're getting ready to go up. But in 100 milliseconds, it's all going to happen so fast, you won't even know it. Now, the trumpet, Alan played a nice little tune there, but I think it's going to be a blast, and I think by the time we hear it, we'll be with Jesus. And I just want to encourage everybody. We hear the message of the gospel here a lot, but I want to encourage everybody. If you're not sure, make sure, and don't be embarrassed about it. This is the most important decision you'll ever make in your life. And I sat in a room of 200 plus people yesterday that had no assurance, hung their heads during the gospel, were very nervous, and every time it was preached, Billy had a testimony. Now, he still had rough edges, as we all do, but I was able to witness to people through him, and I'll take any chance I get. And it was a good time. The family wanted me to keep in touch with him, let him know some more stories, but I came back today and I said, like the pastor says, it's good to be with the people of the Lord. I get charged up when I get in here, and it starts my whole new day again. And I'm thinking, last week was kind of a dark week, but I'm going to use this deal. Unfortunately, my MRI isn't scheduled to the 19th, so if my hands broke more, we won't know to then. But I'm going to use every opportunity I can to do things I haven't done before, reach out a little more, fellowship with some people. And but I just encourage everybody, think about these words, because it's going to happen. We're not guaranteed the next breath. Before we leave here today, it could be a rapture. And I used to always say, wouldn't it be horrible for an unsaved person to be on an airline flight and the pilot and co-pilot were both saved? You know, that it's something that once you hear the gospel, you know, don't turn away from it. You know, this is something that Jesus wants everybody to be saved. He's not willing that any should perish. And I just want to challenge everybody. If you even have a doubt, talk to the pastors. Everybody here would be happy to encourage you and make the right decisions. And I'm thankful I'm saved. I'm thankful that we have a church like we do here, because many people are not serving the Lord. Many people don't even go to a good church or even hear the gospel. Here we have it, and we have a great group of people here. I've never been in a church where the people serve the Lord like they do here and jump in. Nobody says, well, I'm not doing it because he doesn't do it. There's always somebody helping. And I thank you, Pastor. I thank the leadership team here. You guys are great, and thank you for letting me speak.